Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we have another Confederate States of America election night, and I'm going to go through this really quickly. The person who inspired me to do this is Sam's political commentary. I'm going to leave him in the description below. And also, this is the Confederate map as of 1968. So I'm going to be using this map as a basis, along with including the state of Maryland. And then my next video, I'll include one electoral vote out of the state of West Virginia and another one out of the state of New Mexico. And as for Kansas, it has 6 electoral votes currently, so I'll be using 5 because one congressional district is currently cut out in the Union, so I'll just be using that. And my upcoming videos are going to be a Union election night only, so we'll see how that plays out. So thank you. So let's get right into this video. Good evening. Today is November 5th, 2024, and this long and grueling campaign season is coming to a swift end. Tonight, we have the Confederate States of America. We have Julian Castro from Texas versus the former governor of Arkansas who beat out Jeb Bush in the Republican primary this year, Mike Huckabee from the great state of Arkansas. Let's look at the overall net increase of electoral votes. From the year 2020, we had 200 electoral votes, and now in the year 2024, we have 206 electoral votes, expanding the amount needed to win, which is 104 electoral votes. The same states are on your right. Let's look at the 2020 election results and spell out what that may mean for this year's election results. We have Jeb Bush, President Bush actually, taking 162 electoral votes to Roy Cooper's 38. After the huge economic fallout, Jeb Bush was beat out in the primary, and it seems that a lot of Republican states are trending more Democratic this year. It is now time for the 7 p.m. poll closings. Virginia, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Georgia. Out of the state of Kentucky, Mike Huckabee is the projected winner of their 8 electoral votes. Out of the state of South Carolina, its 9 electoral votes are projected to go to Mike Huckabee. This state has only Democratic counties reporting, which is why Julian Castro is in the lead, and Mike Huckabee is the winner of the state. Out of the state of Virginia, a much earlier call than in 2020, Julian Castro is the projected winner of their 13 electoral votes. Out of the state of Georgia, its 16 electoral votes are too close to call. Mike Huckabee is in the lead by 0.2%. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 17 for Mike Huckabee, 104 needed to win, 0 for Julian Castro. It is now time for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings, North Carolina. We apologize to our viewers that the current electoral map is not updated. It's too close to call. Out of the state of North Carolina, its 16 electoral votes are too close to call. This is a race alert with Julian Castro ahead by 6%. And the electoral map, no change here, 17 for Mike Huckabee and 0 for Julian Castro. It is now time for the 8 p.m. poll closings. Maryland, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Out of the state of Alabama, its 9 electoral votes are projected to go to Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee will also carry the state of Tennessee and its 11 electoral votes. Out of the state of Mississippi, its 6 electoral votes are projected to go to Mike Huckabee, much closer than in 2020. Out of the state of Missouri, its 10 electoral votes will go to Mike Huckabee by a much slimmer margin than in 2020. Out of the state of Oklahoma, its 7 electoral votes are projected to go to Mike Huckabee, expanding the lead Jeb Bush had in 2020. And out of the state of Maryland, the most Democratic state in the Confederacy, 68% of the vote going to Julian Castro, 10 electoral votes. Out of the state of Virginia, its 13 electoral votes are projected to go to Julian Castro. Now out of the state of Florida, its 31 electoral votes are currently too close to call. Julian Castro is in the lead. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 59 electoral votes for Mike Huckabee to 23 for Julian Castro. It is now time for the 8:30 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Arkansas, President Hillary Clinton's home state, 6 electoral votes, and Mike Huckabee's home state. He is the projected winner, 65% of the vote for him. And the electoral map is on your screen now. Not that much of a change. However, Mike Huckabee has expanded his lead to 65 electoral votes, to Julian Castro holding steady at 23 electoral votes. It is now time for the 9 p.m. poll closings. Texas, Kansas, and Louisiana. Stand by for major projections. Out of the state of North Carolina, this one is going to Julian Castro. We apologize for the error here. It is not a flip. but its 16 electoral votes are projected to go to Julian Castro. Julian Castro will also carry the crucial state of Georgia, and its 16 electoral votes were meant to put the flip over the state of Georgia, not the state of North Carolina. Its 16 electoral votes are projected to go to Julian Castro. This is a huge win for the Castro campaign. And the state of Kansas, its 5 electoral votes are projected to go to Mike Huckabee. Out of the state of Louisiana, its 8 electoral votes will go to Mike Huckabee by a considerable margin. And the state of Texas is too close to call, 42 electoral votes. Now the Latino population dominates the majority of the state, 51% of the vote for Mike Huckabee, 49% for Julian Castro. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 55 for Julian Castro, 78 for Mike Huckabee, 104 needed to win. Stand by for another major projection. Out of the state of Florida, its 31 electoral votes are projected to go to Julian Castro. He will win the state of Florida decisively. Another huge win for his campaign. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 86 for Julian Castro, putting him super close to the 104 mark, with Mike Huckabee behind at 78. It all comes down to the state of Texas, Julian Castro's home state. And stand by for another major projection. The presidential race has now been called. Out of the state of Texas, it's now projected to go to Julian Castro, and that now puts him at the over 104 electoral votes. This is a Democratic pickup. In nationwide, we have the Confederate States of America electing their first Democratic president since Hillary Clinton. Julian Castro will become the next president of the Confederate States of America. This coming out of the call in the state of Texas, Julian Castro's home state, 98% reporting, 42 electoral votes. We now have a comfortable margin to call the state for Julian Castro. He is the projected winner. And the final electoral map is on your screen now. 128 for Julian Castro, 78 for Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee's path to 104 has now been foreclosed, and Julian Castro will go on to be the next president of the of the Confederate States of America. And let's look at the election analysis from 2020 and years before. In the year 2004, President Al Gore was elected over David Perdue, and then in the year 2008, President Hillary Clinton won her election against Elizabeth Dole, and in 2012, Hillary Clinton lost to President Cruz, and President Cruz overwhelmingly beat Martin O'Malley in the year 2016. In the year 2020, the year Democrats thought they had, Cooper lost to Bush 38 to 162, and in the year 2024, Julian Castro became the next Democratic president since Hillary Clinton. 128 electoral votes for Julian Castro to 78 for Mike Huckabee by flipping back the states of Texas, Georgia, and Florida, and this was a overwhelming victory for the Democrats considering how Republican the South is, and the Confederacy has now flipped to the Democratic column. And here are my social media pages. Thank you all for watching. And my Twitter is at LTE Update, so if you want to see more videos or sneak peeks about my upcoming videos, you can go there. My Patreon is patreon.com/LTE. I'll leave it in the description below. Upcoming, I will have multiple uploads a day until school starts, so about 3 more days of that. Comment Notification Squad if you're early to my videos. And click here to watch my recent election night, and subscribe in the center, and click on the right to watch the most recent Confederate States of America election night. So on the left will be my most recent United States election night, and on the right will be the last Confederate States of America election night of Roy Cooper versus Jeb Bush. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.